So give me a thumbs up if you're pull the data set in the Excel spreadsheet into your Power BI. Okay, cool. Is anyone having a challenge pulling the data into the Power BI? Okay. So last week, I think we learned about how to write some aggregate function like the count X, sum X, and the likes. But now, I think I will start introducing us into a kind of and to some expression that can look kind of very tricky, but it's pretty very easy. I'll be very slow, and for the sake of the recording, I decided to before this class to run some of these expressions on my own to see how it behaves, so that in the class we'll be going back and forth. So let me share my screen. So this was the Power BI, I think, that we built in one of our classes. So I'm going to use the product table to do most of the to write most of the DAX expression for today's session. So go to the data view. In the data view, I want to believe you guys should have just the date, the product name, and the quantity, and the price. Please let me know if what you have is similar to, if you have just the data, the product name, the quantity, and the price. Is that what you guys have? And can someone share his or her screen just for me to know if I send the correct data set to you? But I want to believe you guys should have just the date, the product name, and the quantity, probably, and the price. If you're is that what you have? Can you hear me? If you can hear me, just put probably yes in the chat. Okay. So give me a thumbs up if you want me to proceed. Hey, can you guys hear me? Okay. Cool. So this is the thing. So the other time I explained what new column means and the measure. But for this sake, this data set is not organic. I was one that I came up with this data set simply because I'll be able to show you how the logics and everything works. So the amount sold was a calculated column that I created. And if you want to create the amount sold, it's simply by multiplying the quantity and the product price. So I'm going to let me use the annotation tool, and let me do text. So the amount sold equals, the syntax is going to be the table name dot, okay, let's say the table name, then table column multiply by, for the multiplication, we use the star symbol, multiply by the table name, then table name by the table column. So if you look at this, for every new column you want to create, my table name is what? If you look at this here, this is the table here at the right hand side that says the data. This is the table name, the product. So I can substitute the product, and I want to use the column on which product table. I want to use the product, the column that says quantity. So then I can substitute this table column by quantity. And the table name is going to be constant. Since we are creating a calculated column or a column in the same table. So whenever you are writing this, DAX expression, you need to make sure that you select the parent table name, which is the product, for you to be able to select the right column. So the table name here can be replaced with the product as well. I'm just trying to do it in a very easier way so that everybody will be able to grab it. So I will make this to be the price. So the multiplication of this quantity column and the price column is what give us the amount sold. So this is how the amount sold was generated. 20 was multiplied by 30 to give us $600. 30 was multiplied by 30 to give us $900. So that is that. So what else do we have? Let's see. So we also have, let me put my workbook. We also have a tax. So we also have a tax column. So in the tax column, if you select the tax column, you can see that it says that the amount sold column multiplied by 0.03. So for instance, if we have, let me use the text again. Sorry, I'm going to be doing a lot of calculation. Maybe for instance, maybe you buy something from the grocery and they say the percentage on the item bought is about maybe 3% or 30%. So instead of doing 3% here, I know that the equivalent of 3% is going to be 3 divided by 100. That will give me 0.03. So that is how I was able to get that. And I create a new column. So let me take this away. So I created a new column, which means for each of the amount sold row here, for each of the row, it multiplies by 0.03 to get what? To get the tax amount. So the total after tax total after tax is going to be the tax amount plus the amount sold or whatever, the total cost. So that gives us, that means we add this column, the amount sold, plus this tax column to give us this 618 as the total after tax. So let me delete this. So if you look at the total tax, you can see that I said products amount sold plus, can you see the operator sign? The operator sign is here. Plus the product tax is the addition of the tax column and the amount sold that gave us this. So that is that. So the next thing for us to do is that maybe you want to probably categorize your products. You want to have like a kind of a product status that identify that maybe a product is good or not. So that's the reason why I created a product status for this. So this is how it works. Whenever you're probably maybe want to do like a kind of a categorization, or you want to filter down by a particular condition, or the customer told you like, okay, you know what? I want to see a gender of May that is 28 years old and lives in so zip code. So if it meets that condition, we can say certified. If not, we can say uncertified or something like that. So this is the type of condition that I created here. You can use an if statement to write a logical DAX expression. If it is male and is older than 25 years old and lives in a particular zip code, that means flag it as yes. If not, no. So it's pretty very easy. If the product total after tax is greater than or equal to 100, that is the condition we are looking at. Then tag it to be yes. You can see that I'm passing this yes value into the product status. If that condition met the $1,000, which is the baseline or the benchmark. So we have nested if statement, we have normal if statement, we have so many if statements. It depends on the logic that you want to use to extract your data from your you want to use to extract the data from the data set. So if I write if, so whenever you are using if, the if will go directly to the parent table, which is the products. The parent table here is products. But mind you, we can also use if statement for two different tables. The reason why I'm still using just one single table is simply because I want to make sure that I carry everyone along, starting from the basics before we go to the probably comparing two tables, using the related functions and the likes. I just want to try to use like if statement for just a single table to pass parameters and to extract data. So the first thing is for us to write, when you do if you do is equal to if, let me just do it. Let me create a new one. Just going to give you a new name. Since it's a column, then I will do new column. So I'll do new column. So I'll do if, then you click on your tab button. When you click tab, you can see it's a logical statement. But the very first thing that you write is that you need to make sure that that statement is looking at the exact table that you need to perform your function. So what you will do is that you do product. You can see it's displayed a lot of things, right? So I can choose product. But since I'm looking at, okay, I want to narrow down my equation to amount sold. I can say if product sold, I can say this is the table, products table. The column name is amount sold. I won't do 1,000 this time around. It's greater than, let's do greater than, let's do greater than probably 600. Then I will do comma. If you look at the syntax above, it says if logical text, comma, result if true. What is the result if true? Okay, if it's greater than 600, then we'll do a double quote. We do yes. Or I can do good. And if the result is false, then I can do what? Bad. Then I'll make it this to be let's do product column product condition. Can you see that now? So what happened was that I was able to meet a certain condition, and at the same time, I was able to give it like a tag. I was able to categorize it. Okay, fine. I want it to be okay, good or bad. In some instance, we can label our product condition to be good, bad, and worse. It all depends on the condition we are probably trying, the logic we want to pass into the DAX expression. So by so doing, a customer might come to you like, okay, Abe, do you know what? We discovered that any product that is being purchased and is lesser than probably like $1,000, maybe the product is termed as inferior goods or services or product or whatever. But in their data table, that is not captured. So you as a data analyst, you are the one that have to like create that column and make sure you are able to tag or categorize that product based on the information that was provided by the customer. Though all of this will be captured at the business understanding phase. So that is that. So this is how to write a simple if statement in Microsoft Power BI. Do you guys have any question before I proceed? Any question? So I want to show you something again. Some data set might want you to create like a kind of a range. Maybe for instance, you are given like maybe a data set that comprises age differences or different age of the customers and the likes. And you are trying to analyze what a particular age range is actually purchasing or buying most in a particular store. For instance, maybe a female as a gender that is between the age of 0 to 21, they tend to buy more chocolate cookies or probably any product that is very sweet or something. And you want to differentiate them from all other customers that is actually probably above the age of 40 years. This method can also be, you can use an if statement. You can see that I use an if statement to pass a value of good or bad into the data set. So one of the beauty of DAS expression is that maybe during the design of a database, the database administrator is unable to probably include the required column in the database. You can use a DAS expression to create an additional column. Also, there are some customer behavior that cannot be captured when designing the database, simply because we are only collecting natural data or natural event that occurs from all those customers. So there is no way you can determine if a customer is a good shopper or not when designing your database. This is part of the flexibility that a very good database administrator will probably find. If we have a data table like this, we don't really have to create another additional table. A good data analyst will know that he can create a calculated column or a measure depending on what the insight or the pattern in the data set is. So these are one of the beauty of Microsoft Power BI does. You can create like a false column, because all this that we are creating right now is a false column. So the next thing for us to do is we do the product status, we do the okay. So in the cheats that I sent you, I talk about the and symbol. You see, like operator, the operator, like the logical expression it does that talks about the and, the in, or operation. So let me use the annotated tool, and let's do a little draw. So we have and, we have off, and we have let's see, if, or, and, if, and, in. And anyone tells me what an in function means. So if anyone knows SQL very well, in SQL, when you want to, we use in. When you want to, okay, for instance, we have a, let me use a, we have a set. Let me use a set. A set that contains, in mathematics, we do a set that contains, let's say it contains, is a set of, let's say set of fruits. Contains apple, contains mango, contains contains apple, contains blueberry, contains strawberry, contains what other fruit contains banana, contains let's say grape. So by default, a set is opened by curly braces and it's closed by curly braces. That's how it is in mathematics. That is how it is in Power BI as well. So for instance, maybe I want to write a logic. And we have, in a particular column, there is a column name of fruit. We have different type of fruit. But I want to narrow down my search based on a particular set of fruit. Maybe, okay, the customer says, okay, you know what? I want to see the numbers of customers that are buying apple, mango, and avocado. Maybe our set total number is our set entity. Let me say set entities. Please, if you have any question, you can raise your hand. Well, our set entity is equals to 7. Right? So what I mean by 7 is that the set contains 7 attributes, like 7 values. And the values are, let's say, apple, mango, avocado, pineapple, blueberry, strawberry, banana, and grape. That's that. So for a record or a data set that contains maybe 1,000 records with 7 different types of fruit, the number of record that we house a fruit that is less than 7 entities is going to be lesser. That's another way for me to just interpret this to you. When you want to probably scan through all the fruit type in the data set, that means you're going to have the whole population record, right? But the in function is used to narrow down the values or the entity in the set or the entity in the column. So what we need to do is that, okay, fine. I just want to see only apple and mango. I just want to see mango and avocado. So this is how it works. If I just want to see apple and mango, I'll say, okay, fine. Select. I want to write a SQL code. Select. I can say select all. Select all. This all means select all the columns in the data set from maybe the data table is fruit from product. Let's say product dot fruit, where maybe the column name is okay. Let's say the table name is products, where fruit is the column name. Where fruit in, then we use this apple, apple, and I can do strawberry. This means I've narrowed down all my population just to only the data record that contain apple and blueberry. Please, if you have any question, let me know. Because I'm trying to simplify all this simply because by the time we start using two functions in an expression, maybe for instance, we are doing the calculate and sum, and we are doing calculate and filter. So that's the reason why I'm trying to break it down one after the other. Please, give me a thumbs up if you think you're very clear with what I just explained. Or if you want me to go back again, let me know, please. If you want me to proceed, please put yes in the chat. Can everyone hear me okay? Do you want me to proceed? Okay. So that is that. So let's do. Okay. So now I will replicate the if and in or operation. Oh, okay. I forgot to write something for you. So the and is represented by 2 ampersand. I think this is ampersand sign. And the or is represented in Power BI by 2 pow. And we have the in is in. Please, if the pages at which I'm moving is too fast, please let me know so that I will take it slow. So that is that. So let's go to the in and if and in or operation. So I know this is going to be a very long one, but I'm going to replicate this and create a very long space. And please, if you have any question, please let me know. So I'm going to do new column. Then I'm going to do, sorry. Yep. So if, okay, if operation, okay. So the condition here is this. Let me explain it in a layman language. So what we're trying to do now is that we want to determine if a fruit is bad or good. The first condition that I wrote for the product condition is just an if statement with just one operator. If you can see, let's take a look at this. If statement with one operator, the operator is what? Greater than $600. And I was able to pass the value. If it is true, return good. If it is false, return bad. But the if and in operation, we have an if statement that is looking for the amount, any amount sold that is greater than $360, and the product name is in cake, apple, and cookie. That means, let me show you this. We have apple, banana, cake, cheese, bean. We have so many products in the product name. But based on this DAX expression, we are only looking at just 3 products. We are looking at cake, we are looking at apple, and we are looking at cookie. Never mind how the DAX expression looks like. What I want you to understand is the logic. You know, this is not an organic data set. I formulated this all simply because I will be able to show you guys what each of the function is doing. Sincerely, don't look at this as a very difficult something. Just try and read from the beginning. If you don't understand it, read from the if. If you don't understand it, read from the back that says bad fruit. The customer will tell you, you know what? I want to compare 3 things. I discovered that any product that is greater than $360 and the product is cake, and the product is cake or apple or cookie, or any product sold that is less than amount that is less than $30. You can see now we have a condition that sells $360. Can you see this? And a condition that sells less than $30. Here we have the 2%, which is the hand. We have the in, and we have the in, and we have the ampersand again, and we have the value to return that's good fruit and bad fruit. So this is an expression. 1, if product amount sold is greater than $360, this is 1. And the product name is in cake and cookie. This is another expression. 2. Or the product amount sold is less than $30. This is the 3rd expression. And the product name is in cheese or apple. This is the 4th expression. So after the 4th expression, what the DAX would do is that it will either return good if the condition is true, or return false, or return bad if the condition is false. Do you want me to come again? Is that clear? Please, if you have any question, you can raise your hand. I want to go very slow so that we can understand a lot of things, because these are the basic things that by the time we come up with a kind of very long condition, that you know how to probably combine the if statement with calculate, the if statement with in, the ampersand with filter, and the likes. So let's give it a shot. But what I'm going to replicate here is going to be different. Actually, I only write this to probably text the data set. So you might read into this data into this DAX logically to you might not make any sense based on the output here. Because you can see the total tax after tax here is 618, take good fruit. Where the total one after tax 927 say bad fruit. It's simply because the data set is not organic, and you can see what actually affected that was the price. I set the price to be a constant something. There is no way you buy an apple for $30 and you still buy the banana for $30. They will all have their own different price tag. But just for the sake of learning and just to be able to, for us to see the pattern, for the sake of those that have a kind of a basic knowledge, we're able to detect that 20 times 36 will give us 600 and something like that. So the outcome in the if and all operation here might not make any mathematical sense looking at this, simply because the quantity and the price values that are assigned might be kind of very off. So that is that. Let's give it a shot. I'm going to write another statement, but I'm going to use if, and probably I won't use the amount sold. Let me use a total after tax. That is what I will use. So let's give it a shot. So this is my column. Then I'm going to do if, and the logical statement is going to be product. And let's choose amount sold, total after tax. If the total after tax is, let's see what we have, is, let's say is less than, I think we have $32, less than, it's less than $32. It's less than $92. And product, let's use the, what else we have? The product name is in, once you put in the in, they open a curly bracket. Then we do, what type of product do we have? I just want to do, I'm going to do apple, banana, and what do we have? Apple, banana, and let me just do apple and banana. Apple, banana. Oh, sorry. So I will write this and I will terminate this expression just for you to see how it behaves. So then I can say if it is, can you see? It says if result is true, if true, let's return a value. So I will say, okay, this is good. I can just say, I want to give it good. Or bad. And see, we have all bad. I'm still going to loop in other statements. I just want to show you how you can probably be tracking if what you are writing, the DAX expression you are writing, is making any sense. So I have a total after tax to be less than $32, and the product name is in apple and banana, just the two. I can also add to it. I can add cookie. And I can also change this to maybe is greater, is less than, or is greater than, let's use greater than 92. Greater than 92. Let's give it a shot. Can you see how it behaves? This is a single statement. And if the total after tax is greater than 92 and the product name is an apple, banana, and cookie, return good or bad. It works, right? Whenever you are terminating an if statement must return a result for you. Is either the condition is true or the condition is false. And these are the condition. These are the value for the condition that we passed. These are the two conditions. The total tax, this is a condition. The product name, this is a condition. So now I want to join another statement with it. So the next statement I want to join, I want to include all. And for me to include all, then I can do two pile and say product after tax. Let's see if I can enter for this. So if you want to go to the next line, just press on shift, press on shift and you tap the enter button. I'm just going to make sure so that everyone will be able to see it. And the products, the total after tax is less than, let's do less than or equal to it's less than or equal to let's do 1003. Let's do okay, less than equal to, let's see, next number is 17,000. Less than or equal to, let's do 3,000. And products name is in the group of the current braces is in, let's do, I'm gonna do cheese, bean, and cake. Then cheese, bean, and cake. Then what follows after you close the in function for the cheese, after the last curly brace is for you, the curly bracket is for you to add comma. Once you add a comma, I want you to pay attention to the if logic test, comma result if true, comma result if false. So the next thing for us to do is all these, look at this. All these, all through this if is the logical expression. So this is the logical expression. So after the comma comes what we want to use to pass the value. Okay, fine. What do we want to use to categorize it? Then we can say this is then return good if true or bad. Let's do okay. So the column say good, 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 bad, 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 bad. So if you want to combine more other logic as well, if you want to add to your logical expression, you can also add more to it. Do you have any question before I proceed? So the next one is, I want to do like the amount sold breakdown. Maybe the leadership of the organization want to see the products that were sold between the range of probably $100 to $2,000, and from $2,000 to $40,000, from $40,000 to $50,000, from $60,000 to $70,000. So I'll experiment that using the total tax column as well. But we can use the amount, so it all depends on what we are looking at. So before I replicate that, this is the logic. It says if product, which is the table, and the column name, which is the amount sold, is less than or equals to $150, it says the amount sold is 30 plus. Mind you, I'm only using this expression as an example. Mathematically, it's not going to make any sense. So I don't want you to get confused at this point. I'm just only trying to show you how you can categorize or probably put your data set in a range. Do you get what I'm saying? So the logic says the table name, the table column, the operator, which is less or equals to $150, comma, then I pass the value that for this condition. I pass the value for this condition to be this. So a takeaway from this is this. Whenever you are seeing a double quote function, a double quote string, that means you are passing a value to that column. The other time I explained what is scalar and vector quantity to us. So it's pretty very easy for you to differentiate that. You cannot use an if statement that contain a very long, an if statement with multiple expression, logical expression, to pass a single value. You can only use an if statement to pass a single value, maybe probably after the condition has been met, and you want to do a count of those of the rows that met that condition. You can see that despite the fact we are writing different, we are combining different logic together, we are still creating new columns. Do you get what I'm saying? I'm creating a new column. I'm not building or writing a new measures. I'm creating a new column just for me to be able to see the pattern and then to identify what the data set looks like before I move it to my visualization canvas. So that is that. You can say this is one if. Please, I want you to pay attention to this. This is one if, right? If products amount sold is less or equals to $150, amount sold is what? 30 plus. I can give you whatever I want, just for you to know. I can give it to the 300. It's still gonna work. I'm just trying to show you how you can pass value into a condition that is being met. Can you see? I have amount sold to be 300 plus. That is for one condition. For instance, if the customer wants you to have a date range of 4 different categories, that means you will have 4 different ifs. Ifs. For condition, okay, let me use the annotation for more clarity. Let's do text. So for instance, if the customer wants 5 different age categories, let's say 10 plus, 20 plus, 30 plus, 40 plus, and 50 plus. So 10 plus is going to range from 10 to what? To 19, right? So 20 plus is going to range from 20 to 29. So 30 plus is going to range from 30 all through 39. You can see data analytics is pretty very simple. It's just about trying to be little analytical, trying to think a little, trying to visualize things, and trying to be able to do like a kind of data segmentation, trying to partition data in a way that you will be able to pull or read patterns or insights from it. So from 40 is going to be 40 all through 49. And for 50 is going to be all through 50 all through 59. So this is the thing. A data set that contain or that is greater than a data set from, let's say, greater than or equals to 60 will be discarded in the data set. So that is that. Please let me know if you have any question before I proceed. Please give me a thumbs up if you believe this class is not too boring for you. I'll probably just put a chat in a message. But I just want to make sure everyone stays on and we are not probably sleeping because it's getting to the maybe to the dark hour of the day or something. Is everyone understanding what I've been showing you? Probably putting the annotation tools and as well. Give me a yes if you want me to proceed, please. Give me a yes if you want me to proceed. Florence, can you hear me? Okay, cool. Yeah, so I got a message from Mr. Philip. It says yes, but we might want to practicalize it as well. Do you want me to give you a data set to practicalize it, or what are you trying to tell me? Just put it in the chat. Okay, we need to practice more to follow through for proper understanding. Okay. Cool. But do you think the conditions or the logic we are combining today, do you think is kind of very simple or complex? Simple or complex? If it is simple, put it in the chat. If it is complex, put it in the chat. Is it simple or complex? So it is kind of complex, and I believe getting that is the most important. Okay, is there any part you want me to take again? If, let me know if there is any part you want, because it's very important that we get this part before I proceed to writing a DAX expression that will look into two different tables together to create a new column. Please, I want more questions, please, so that I will be able to maybe probably go back and a little bit so that I can start from the simple if. Do you want me to take it back from the if statement again? Please don't be shy. That's the main reason why we are here. Okay, cool. Does anyone support that as well? To start from the if statement again. Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to write something using the annotation to explain the if statement, maybe probably using a boy and girl or something like that. So by the time you're able to get that, I think then we should be good. So let's start from the. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, sorry to jump in. I tried raising my hand, so actually, so uh, I the thing is, I know, I think I have an idea of, I mean, the complexity of how this thing is going to get through, but I mean, I'm just looking at from my own end. I mean, what I try doing all the time is whenever my instructor is working on something,
Yeah.
I try as much as possible to work on it myself to follow through because understanding it is about doing it yourself, you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, it get to a point that oh, I just have to take a pause and let the instructor go ahead and finish everything. But now adding a lot of complexity to it, you know, as we are learning this thing, it becomes complex because I know when you start writing those that's expression, it's like, yeah. I was just thinking if okay, from the simple parts up to this point looks good, nice in my own to me, all right, right. But just thinking is there a way or do we have period where we can okay, let's try and do this and let me see where you guys have got into because honestly knowing this thing is by doing it.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
this this
so
this
that's
this this is the thing. Thank you so much for that information. Uh, I think I have to take it very slowly because the thing is that, and that's the major reason why I decided to have a written DAX expression and trying to replicate a new one using another column. You get what I'm saying? So this is the thing. Do you want us to like write a single code, a single DAX expression for each of the function maybe we are trying to capture, and make sure that all the attendees try that on their own as well? So once they give me an okay, then I'll proceed to the next one. Is that the method you want us to adopt? Okay, so the thing is that uh Mr. Philip and Florence, you guys have been the one responding to my chat. Do you get what I'm saying? Which I believe is not enough. Do you get what I'm saying? Which I believe is not enough. Everyone on this chat should be able to tell me, okay, fine. Wait, let's try my if is not working. Because the troubleshooting part of it, having just a single code run into an error is part of the learning process. So I expect a lot of feedbacks. Even it's better you guys run into problem that we try to troubleshoot that before we proceed into next DAX expression. But you and Florence, Mr. Philip and Florence have been the only one communicating or trying to respond, and which I believe is not to me. Is when some other trainees have been so silent, then I won't be able to capture what I needed to capture. So the thing is that I want everyone to probably come up, speak up your mind, so that even by the time we have a private section, it's going to work a lot. Because we are just getting started, and I can tell you that expression is pretty very easy to write. I myself, at times, I run into problems. It might be because maybe I didn't use a single quote, I use a double quote. It's not a perfect something. Do you get what I'm saying? So I will be very happy if we can probably speak up, and besides, we are not even showing cameras or anything, so I don't see why we have to be shy or anything. Do you get what I'm saying? So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take the class all the way back again. Even if you can't talk, I want you to do like a kind of thumbs up. Just give me a thumbs up and tell me, okay, fine, I'm done with this stage. Then we'll be able to move to the other stage. Does everybody agree to that? Is that okay with everyone? If it is okay with everyone, give me a yes, please. Okay. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back to, uh, let me go back to we'll do the product status. Okay. So let's start from the product status. I'm going to use the annotation tool so that maybe mathematically, if I do a mathematical representation, maybe that's going to work. Uh, so let's do text. Let's do. So the product status syntax. So I have a product, and that product has a column that says total after tax. All the columns that we have here. But what we are interested in is the condition. So let me say if condition. So for the if condition, that will be equals, that will be a logical expression. What is a logical expression? A logical expression is, okay, fine. I want you to count the number of ladies or female in a particular population. Then, if it is true, sales female. So if the logical expression is this, count in a population of male and female. That's the population. The population comprised of male and female. I just want to see male. I'm interested in male, just male. So if the population size is 1,000, then the output will be lesser than 1,000 if we filter on male or female. So what the if statement is doing, to be very precise, is that we are just trying to see a particular sample of our total population. You want to filter down, you want to narrow down your search based on a particular criteria. So whenever you are writing an if condition, I can say the logical expression will be if gender equals male. And if it is true, I can say return, okay, if the gender is male, I can say return male. So here it's going to be male. If it is true, return male. If it is false, return female. Simple. If the gender is male, return male. If it is not male, return female. So the thing is this. Now, I can also say if the gender is male, return male. If it is not male, return female. And if gender probably gender age. Don't forget that the gender is a table. And let's say these are let's say okay, this gender is the table name dot, and the main table name is the column that contains the, okay, let's do it this way. I'm just going to do population. Let's do population. The population will contain male and female, right? But these days, with all that's going all around the world, we have different kind of sex now. But let's just keep it to be male and female. So if the the table name is population, the column that stores the genders, that the male and female, is gender. If population.gender, that means the table name and the column name is male, then we return male. If not, return female. And if population dot age is greater or equal to 32. So that means that, the first condition is this gender. This male is the first condition. The first condition will give us a very kind of reasonable number of data sets. But by the time you are narrowing down your data sets or your search by age again, definitely your data set is going to come down. In some aspects, it will come down. In some aspects, it will remain the same. It depends on the age of the people in that population distribution. For instance, if the age starts from 2 years all through 120 years, but now you are starting to pull your data or narrowing down your data from 32 years all through 120 years. But that shows that any age below 32 years will be discarded from our population distribution. That will actually, by default, narrow down our search. And once we are able to do that, then here You don't have to return any value. Not until after you are done comparing the two conditions. This is the first condition, population gender. The second condition is population age. All the attributes you are comparing or all the logical expression you are putting together is going to come from the same table. If we are writing an if statement that is not nested, when we are probably comparing just a single table. But in some instance, we can also write if statement to look for using attributes in different tables. This is an attribute, a column. In the same table, this is an attribute in the same column. If I have a population, okay, let's do this. If I have a population table, I have a population table, and I have another table that is called, let's say, maybe a resource allocation table. And the resource allocation table, maybe the government is probably looking at how resources going to be shared among males, looking at gender, looking at age bracket, looking at location, and some other attributes like that. I can also write, let's say the table name is, let's code it with RAT, right? So here is going to be RAT.gender. This is going to be the table name and the column. This is going to be RAT.age bracket. This is going to be RAT.location. So whenever we are writing an if statement, and the government says, you know what? I want to conduct a count on the number of probably a gender that were probably allocated a particular resources within a particular age. So this is how it works. We always have a fact table in the database. Okay, let me just do it this way. I think that will make sense again. We always have a fact table and we have dimension table. Dimension table. A fact table can be a single table, one large or big table with numerous dimension table connected. So a fact table is a big table, like for instance, if you go to a bank we have a customer, a bank I have a customer biodata. Biodata is probably the customer is name, first name, last name, age, address, occupation, blah, 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 blah. That's customer biodata. A bank, we have a customer transaction table. But a customer transaction table, the bank, we have a table that will contain, maybe for instance, they are using Finacle or whatever software they are using, that might be able to track a lot of things. A lot of things in the sense that it can track the biodata, it can track the transaction, it can track the account type, it can track so many other plans that maybe the person is doing like a kind of fixed deposit, whatever the transaction activity the customer is doing with the bank. A fact table simply contains all the information you can think of that a bank has. But the truth is that a dimension table is like a subtable in the fact table. Maybe at some point, I just want to analyze the customer biodata. I don't have to go to the fact table to be pulling that. So basically, a fact table is always in the middle based on the database diagram, always very large. It will now have a foreign key and a primary key in the dimension table. So a fact table can contain n dimension tables. And what I mean by that is multiple tables joined to it. And for the fact that, now let me tell you something. You can query or probably write a nested if statement if there is no relationship between the data table. Let me show you something. Oh, let me just take this off. I'll use mutation, our drawing, take this away. So let's use this. I'll use this as an example. This product table can be a fact table. A fact table. This product can be a fact table. Let me just go online if I can see an example real quick so that I can show you that. I think that will be better. Fact table. Data else. Let's just do that. Okay, this is what I'm looking for. Can you see? This is a fact table, right? It says fact sales. Then you see dim date, dim product, dim store, dim customer. The fact sales table contains all the information you can ever think of in all other dim table. The dim table will have a primary key that will serve as a foreign key in this fact table. What I'm trying to say in a nutshell is that whenever you are writing a calculated column and you're trying to combine columns from different tables together, they have to be a related table. If they are not related, there is no way you'll be able to write that formula. It will not work because there is no relationship between them. So the fact table here has different, what you say as date is dimension table. You can see for the auditor key, we have the first name and the last name. For the fact evaluation, we have the auditor key that connects the fact evaluation table to the auditor table. And for the location, we also have the location key that is in the location dimension table in the fact table evaluation. That is how it works. So the fact table is always at the middle and it's connected by multiple dimension table. So let's go back to, you can probably read that up as well. So that is what I'm trying to explain here. Let's assume the product table is a fact table. There has to be an existing relationship between the fact table and the dimension table before you can write a logical expression that will probably pull a particular column from different data tables in the same database. So that is that. Let me know if that is clear enough or you want me to use another method again. Do you think that is clear enough? Okay, cool. So let's go back to our if statement. So for the if statement, we have a product status, which is very simple. I want to know if the product status is good. Is it good? If the status is yes or no. Okay, the status is yes, that means the status is good. The status is no, that means the status is bad, right? I write just one single if statement. The logical expression here is just one. And what is it doing is that it's checking if the total after tax is greater than or equals to 1,000. What it means that anything from 1,000 is what is tagged to be yes. If it is less than 1,000, it will be no. This is very simple. So that is that. I'm going to take the if and in or operation again. So the product status is just a statement, if statement. But the if and in or operation this is a statement, this is an expression, this is one, right? This is another one. It says and. This is another one, right? This is another one again, 3. And this is another one again, 4. So after the fourth logical expression, and I told, okay, I want this expression to return to determine if the fruit is good or bad for me. And that is how we're able to determine if the fruit is good or if the fruit is bad. But what are the logical conditions that we took into consideration? We took into consideration the amount sold, and we took into consideration the product name, which is the product type. And we combine, we compare, or probably we chose 3 values for our product name. We chose the cake, we chose the apple, and we chose the cookie. Do you want me to practice the if and all operation? So this is what we do. I think we should have a can you guys probably write these try to run this if and all operation on your own and let me see if it's going to work, please. What about that? Before I proceed to the next one.
Okay, so do you want to leave this on the screen or you want to copy and paste in the chat?
I will leave it on the I will leave it on the
okay.
screen. I will leave it
okay,
on
because I've gotten to this point. Okay.
Yeah. Dammi non rispondo. Se vuoi fai che non si sciolta con Please, once you are done, please let me know. Just give me a thumbs up. So, okay. I'm having issue after. Okay. So let me copy. I'll copy the old code. Okay, result. Cool.
Hello. Hello.
Hello, yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I don't know how many people who are actually doing this right now, but for me, I just have my little laptop, and it's difficult for me to go back and forth looking at the training screen and going back to my own screen to work on it at the same time. I find it difficult. So I would rather listen all through the training and go back and replay the training video. Then I can create my own dashboard visualization and this table on Power BI. So I wasn't actually doing anything. I was just following what you were doing. So
Oh,
if
okay.
I am to, it's more like me starting all over. So I
Okay.
don't know who and who is doing this particular operation now. So I don't know. It's just taking time. I would rather say we go on and everybody plays the replace the video at their own time. I don't know. I'm just speaking for myself.
Okay. Who is this, please, if I may ask?
This is Florence.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So I think we should just proceed to the. Okay, let's check the amount sold breakdown. So the amount sold breakdown is a kind of like an if statement as well. It's simple if I'm passing the value you want to label it. This is a label, like a value. This is the logic. And you can see this have like if product amount sold is less than equals to 150, the amount sold will be this 300 plus, just for the sake of this section. It might not make any mathematical sense simply because this data set is inorganic. So here I have just two. I have for less than equals to 150, the amount sold should be 300 plus. And if the product amount sold is greater than 360, the amount sold is 360. That's the reason why we have 360 and we have 300. Let me just do this. Can you see it? So by now you should be able to differentiate between the if and other logical, like if that contains other logical expression, and if that only contains a simple statement, like this is just a simple logical expression. It's not looking to any other things again. We are not comparing this with any other thing. We are only trying to label a particular range of data set, maybe amount sold between $150 to $300 as amount sold for 360 something plus. You can also give it in whatever you feel like giving it. In fact, I can put it to be, put this to be Florence. Sorry, I don't know if your name is, if I write your name correctly. So can you say it? It's just like passing a value. I can change this to be Vietnam from Nigeria. It depends on what you want to pass it to. So by now you should understand what the double quote means. The double quote is just for you to pass a particular value after a particular condition has been met. Very simple. I also have problems when I'm trying to probably write a DAX expression, struggling with the commas, but at times when I pay attention to the syntax, that makes me to do my troubleshooting in a very easy way. So that will be the amount, so 300 another plus. Then we'll do a double quote. So that's that. I think we did the product condition the other time, which is okay. So let's do the column now. Yeah. So let's do the, okay, we did the if statement with and, with in, and with or. That's very similar to what we just did. So the next operation is going to be count filter operation. So this is a measure. Here, you can see we have if and in or operation. Please, I want you to pay attention to this. This is a calculated column that I'm using in a measure. If you look at the right-hand side, under the product table, you can see we have something like a calculator. This is a measure. This is a measure. But we are using a calculated column or a column we created. This if and in or operation in our measure. What do I want to do? Let me give you a clue again. Whenever you are reading a DAX expression, because as a data analyst, by the time you are publishing workflow into the Power BI service, you will be publishing a workflow in your workspace. And if you are given like a kind of a admin or a kind of a top level permission, you should be able to see all the workflow that have been built in the same Power BI tenant. What I mean by tenant is Power BI environment. So the best way for you to learn is by looking at what other people have built in the past and try to look at how their DAX expression works. Like myself, when I was working in my previous job, what I do is I just make a very long list. I have a list of different expressions that people have used on the tables that I might likely use for my future project. So whenever I want to build on probably write a new DAX expression, I just go and take a look. Okay, fine. This is doing this, this is doing that. I'll just extract it and I will tweak it to suit whatever condition or whatever thing solution I want to build out of it. So the count filter, I want you to read from your right hand side. Read from here. This is how you understand what this operation is actually doing. Read from here. The final operation is calculate count. This is what is going to execute last. Count filter. Filter what? We want to filter a table, right? So the operation says, the DAX expression says count, calculate count, the product, which is the parent table, if and in or operation. Can you see this? We are trying to look at this table here. The product, the parent name, and the column name is here. And we filter all what? We filter all table. The product table, the table name is product. Filter all products. Do you get it? So the filtering operation is not just happening on a particular column. It's happening on the entire table that we are using to write our DAX expression. And it shows on that product table, just go straight to the amount sold. We have here. So we are filtering on what? When the amount sold is greater than $360. The first condition, amount sold is greater than $360, and it should be filtered on what? All product table. What it means by all product table is that it has to be filtered on the table name called products. So if you look at this, this is the first condition that will be executed. Once this is true, then count all the values here that met this condition. For instance, we have good fruit, we have bad fruit, we have good fruit, we have bad fruit. But we are narrowing down based on the amount sold. So amount sold that is greater than $360 rather. So it's going to exclude any amount sold that is less than 360°. That's the first thing that is going to happen. It will filter all the product table, but the filter will be narrowed down to this amount sold. Once the amount sold is being narrowed down to just greater than $360, then it will perform a count on this column. So if you take a look at it properly, let's see. Count operations. So if you take a look at it properly, this if and in or operation is a very long expression on its own. But instead of repeating that very long expression, what we did is that we just call the calculated table that was created for if and in or operation. So afterward, then it will calculate the count. So let's go back to the visual, and I will show you something. So this is the count filter. Let me just delete this, and let me do new visual. Let me do the card, and let me check this measure. So to give us 17 records, right? Let's go back here and see how many records do we have. We have 54 rows. So our record is 54. That shows that only 17 records met this condition out of the 54 records. So at the higher level, whenever you build a dashboard in Power BI, there's always a committee. We call them the code review committee. They're going to be the one to look at your DAX expression to make sure that instead of you to have just like 3 steps of code, because like for instance, someone might be like, okay, you might have like 8 steps of code, and there might be a syntax in Power BI dash that might just probably like three steps of code of DAX expression. So they're going to be the one to review the performance of the of whatever you built, and they're going to recommend, okay, we believe there are better code that you can write to optimize this, Why don't you just go for it? And they will probably write the DAX expression for you to implement, and you'll be able to compare and contrast with what you have. So that is that. So I think the last one should be, let's see, we have count, filter. Okay, let's do filter operation. So, as I said earlier, whenever you want to read, you can see we have, look at this, we have filter, we have sum, we have calculate. What this expression is doing is this. We have a calculated column. I said we should always start from here, right? We should always start from the right if you want to read a DAX expression. But if you want to write it, you write from the left. But if you want to read it for you to understand the logic, you read from the right. It shows on the product table, which is our table name, the product, we want to filter on the product status, which is what? Okay, now let me tell you something that you need to use as a clue. Whenever you are performing a filter operation, the other time I said filter all, it starts with product. Let me show you that real quick. And filter. Can you see? So filter all. Let's try and remove this from it. Let me try and remove this. That's an error, right? Can you see it works? It also works. There is difference between filter and filter all. Now, the filter looks at the whole table and move to the amount sold column to start his filtering process. That's how this works. But when we saw, let's add all to this. Filter all this shows all products. And this shows filter. Filter just takes product status when it is yes. Product status, we have yes and no. So let's do something, just do yes. And let's select our filter operation. I just want to, it shows product status yes, filter, when the amount sold, product amount sold, and some product amount sold. So I have to sum this together. Filter operation. So we are summing on this. Say calculate sum. But before you calculate the sum, they want us to narrow down this product status to yes alone. You can say the product status have yes and no. So most times, there was a time I was working on a project. So one rule of record was missing. I wrote the DAX expression, but I was unable to filter to probably capture just one rule of one record, just single record. So most times, what you would do is that for the fact that it is a filter like a kind of a down arrow, you can also use that down arrow to follow through the DAX expression that you've written to just narrow down if what you wrote actually captured the exact value. Like for instance, if we do the count filter, okay, let's do I think we are on the filter operation. It says the product's status must be yes. I can come here and say, okay, yes. Let's select yes. And if this is yes, so it reduces all these to this. And the sales, the total after tax, oh, sorry, filter operation, filter operation, filter operation. It says sum the product amount sold. So we just have to sum all this. Do you get what I'm saying? We just have to sum all this. If what is here sales, some product amount sold, let's say greater than, let's see, greater than or equal to, let's do greater than or equal to 16,000. Only accept a column reference as an argument. Product amount sold. So let me do filter. Yes. So cannot find name amount. Cannot find name amount. Okay. Product amounts. I want to oh, sorry, this is should be product. To write it from the beginning. Filter. Product. Product. Is it product status? Or what? Filter. Filter product. This. Filter product. Filter product. Sold. Yeah. Filter products. The product status. What is it? Okay. Sorry about that. I can see the comma, the bracket, and the likes is very important. So I'm trying to probably limit the amount sold to greater than and filter the product on that. So I can just add this to it and product comma product amount sold is greater than 50,000. Product amount sold. So okay, I think I'm gonna work on this. So what I'm trying to do is that after filtering by yes, this is a statement. Yes. I still can tell this filter to only pick an amount so that is probably equals to this. I want to do that just to make sure that we return those only single record. And by the time this calculates some performance operation, it's just going to return this 16,590. I'll work on the DAX expression and I will make sure it works, and I will show you in the next class. So basically, it's expected that whenever we are writing a DAX expression, it's not going to be smooth. At times, you just have to be playing with the single column, the double quote, the ampersand, the pipes, and the likes. So that is that. I'm going to do something. I think it's very important for me to drop all this DAX expression. Let me put it into a notepad. Do you want me to send all this DAX expression as a mail to you, or do you want me to put it in a chat just for you to copy? I can do group. Okay. Okay, I'm going to write all the DAX expression, but I'm going to work on the last one I was trying to troubleshoot and send it to you before I go to bed. And I will upload the class video. So please, if you have any concerns and any roadblock or challenge, or probably want us to meet, please feel free to schedule a one-on-one meeting with me so that we'll be able to meet and address a lot of things. Please, I want you to review this short DAX expression carefully, because now very soon we'll be moving to comparing 2 tables, 3 tables within the same database that have a relationship, so that we'll be able to see how these DAX expression works for more complex tables that have so many relationships. Thank you so much for your time, and I want to apologize for missing last Sunday's class. My next military drill is going to be in, I think, first week in September. So I will get the data and communicate to you earlier. But prior to that time, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me. You guys should have a very wonderful and a blessed night. Thank you so much for your time. Good night.
Thank you.
And Eleni.
I do so